Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the D1Softball podcast. I'm Jenna Becerra alongside my fantastic co-host, Amanda Lorenz. And today's episode is brought to us by our friends at S2 Cognition. S2 Cognition delivers a revolutionary approach to helping athletes understand how in-game decisions impact their performance from the youth levels all the way to the pros. Today's lineup, Amanda, I think it might be one of your favorites, I could venture to say.
I think that's a safe assumption.
So we'll share with the group. So today's lineup is we'll talk a little bit about NCAA tournament bracket, of course, after selection show, but then we'll head into an interview with not just Tim Walton, but the Florida coaching staff as a whole, which is exciting. And then we'll do plays of the week and win and whiff of the week. So lots coming as usual.
Let's get into it.
Okay, first with the NCAA bracket. Obviously, the hottest topic right now in the softball world after selection show Sunday. Just some quick overall information to make sure we're all on the same page. So the top 8 national seeds were Texas, OU, Tennessee, Florida, Oklahoma State, UCLA, Missouri, and Stanford. So 3 Big 12, 3 SEC, couple of Pac-12. Then it was the 9 through 16, LSU, Duke, Georgia, Arkansas, Louisiana, Alabama, Florida State, Texas A&M. So 5 SEC in that group, a couple of ACC, and a Sun Belt. So a lot to take in there. The last 4 in as well were Indiana, Ole Miss, Penn State, and UCF, and some first timers too with Dayton, Siena, and Southeastern Louisiana making it for the first time in their program's history. So lots of things. The other thing I would say is welcome back to Arizona and Michigan, just since not making it last year after decades of being in the tournament every single year. Any initial thoughts, Amanda, before we head into questions we got?
Yeah, I mean, I thought the committee did a great job. I think that there was not many shock factor things thrown at us this year. I feel like usually I'm like, whoa, like I remember my first whoa moment was Minnesota getting sent to Alabama in 2017.
I think something, yeah, that sounds right.
They probably thought even they were going to be a top 8 seed and they were not seeded at all. I feel like that's when we really started to grasp what the committee values. And we saw that a little bit with Duke this year as well. But other than that, I thought that the committee did a great job, and it was so fun to watch and so fun to break it down with the D1Softball team live.
Yes, it definitely was. Like, I was less shook than I've been in the past. There's certain things, of course, like you touched on a couple of things, right, where it's like, oh, okay, that's interesting, but less confused than usual. I agree with that. And yes, if you didn't, you can catch up on the D1Softball selection show special that we did live. It's literally our live reactions as the bracket is being revealed with the whole D1 team, us two, including the In the Circle team with Aric Lopez, Victor Anderson, and then Justin McLeod as well, who's on our team and one of our lead writers. But one question that we did get a lot was about number 1 and number 2. So we did want to address that here. Why did the committee put Texas over Oklahoma? And do you agree?
I'll start initially. I think that Texas winning the series over Oklahoma had a lot of weight in the regular season. And I think that they've proven themselves to be the number 1 team in the country throughout this whole year, frankly. I know they did drop that series to Oklahoma State as well, but then Oklahoma State also took the series from Oklahoma. So I think it comes down to Texas lost that 1 series against Oklahoma State, and Oklahoma lost 2 series to Texas and Oklahoma State. So I do agree. I think that sometimes, like certain teams, as in Texas and Tennessee, just their whole body of work throughout this whole season, the committee valued that more than just what they did in the conference tournament. It wasn't even like they had bad conference tournaments. It's just that they proved themselves throughout the whole entire year to be top 3, top 5 national seeds. And I think Texas is the number 1 team in the country as is. Doesn't mean that they're going to win the national championship. No, like it doesn't. Like they still have to win when it really matters. But when it comes down to it, I do agree.
Yeah, I think it's not something I was upset about, because I can see both arguments too. Like Texas is number one in both RPI and DSR going into it with a higher strength of schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, they won the regular season Big 12 championship and beat OU head to head in that series. But then on the OU side, okay, yeah, they're number two technically in RPI and DSR, but also, they do have the best win record in the country, or winning percentage, 49-6. Texas is right behind them with 47-7. But they did beat both Oklahoma State and Texas eventually, two teams they lost the regular season series to in the Big 12 tournament. So I can see some OU fans being like, well, for example, Mizzou seemed to benefit from their run in the conference tournament in the SEC. What about us? But at the same time, the losses are pretty similar. They both lost to each other as well as Oklahoma State. And then Louisiana and BYU also beat OU. Houston, the only non-ranked team that was able to beat Texas. I think it comes down to just more elite wins for Texas too. There are 10 wins for Texas over other national seeds in this bracket. Oklahoma State and Oklahoma, of course, a couple of times for OU, UCLA twice, Stanford, Tennessee, Florida State, Louisiana twice. There are 5 for OU, with Texas a couple times, Oklahoma State, Duke, Louisiana. So it's like, if you really want to dig super deep, and you kind of do have to dig deep to make this decision, but see why the committee landed there as well. And like we said, we did do that live special during the selection show, also a live that we did on Instagram with NCAA softball that breaks down our thoughts on all the different regionals, like our immediate reactions, some of the more in-depth thoughts that we've had for each region and all 64 teams. So we highly recommend tuning into those. But we felt like we got this question a lot about number 1, number 2, so we needed to address it now.
Rightly so.
Absolutely. And then also the bracket challenge is here. So because the field of 64 is set, it means it's time for the annual D1Softball bracket challenge presented by Chinook Seedery. So our bracket challenge is free. It's open to the public too. All you need is an email to create an account. Plus, you can create your own groups to compete against your family and friends this postseason. And once you create an account, you can select your picks, submit your bracket for a chance to win cash prizes, including up to $2,000 in cash and prize packs from our friends at Chinook. So go to D1Softball.com to learn more. I think it's time for your favorite part, though. Now, Amanda,
let's do it. You guys are in for such a treat.
All right, let's head into the interview this time around. We are super excited to welcome today on the D1Softball podcast the entire Florida coaching staff. Head coach Tim Walton, assistant coach, recruiting coordinator, many hats, Aric Thomas, pitching coach Chelsey Dobbins, assistant coach Francesca Enea. I know you're all Amanda's friends, as I was saying before we hopped on, and so thank you for allowing me to join this Gator reunion.
We've learned this a long time ago. Any friend of Amanda, after you pass the approval, you're a friend of ours.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. But congratulations, I think, to this whole staff on a lot of things. SEC tournament champions, a ton of conference awards, including Player of the Year, Freshman of the Year, number 4 national seed for the NCAA tournament. So just wanted to start off by saying congratulations, because this is the team within the team, right, with this coaching staff. So very well done so far. I know you have more to do, but awesome job.
Yeah, thank you. No, it's been fun for me, obviously, doing this as many times, as many years. Every year is different. Every team's different. But bringing in, Francesca this is her first ever year of coaching, and then Chelsey, coming to us from North Carolina after spending, 8+ years there. It's been good. Just different variety of people, different variety of personalities. The two women to my right and my left, both are wearing many hats, more hats than I am, mom and all the things, and they've done a really good job. As talented of the 10 people we brought in plus the transfers, these are probably two of the most instrumental pieces to us being a number 4 national seed too.
I love it. And I feel like, I said this on Twitter as well, but just for our listeners to really grasp, the Gators had 0 returning pitchers. Okay. And also adding 2 new coaches on staff, coming in second in the SEC, winning the SEC tournament. Obviously, these awards were announced before that. And Coach Walton is not Coach of the Year. Like, well, that's craziness. Like, I know I'm completely biased, but really, like, all of the odds were against the Gators this year. I don't know where you guys fell in the coaches poll, the preseason coaching poll, but I mean, even I probably didn't expect this of just what you guys have been able to do. And I'm the biggest Gator hype woman of all time, right? Like, it's been really incredible what you guys have been able to do with the kids that you have, the transfers, and then obviously just the exceptional hires of Coach Francesca Enea and Coach Dobbins. And then, like, obviously, Francesca, no one knows better than you the Gator standard, right? But like, and I know that you have your own standard, Coach Dobbins, that you live up to. And I'm sure that obviously aligned with the Gators, and that's why you were hired. But I'm just so impressed with the way that you guys have come in and immediately knew what the Gator standard was, obviously, Fran. And then, but Coach Dobbins, my first question is for you. Just, was it easier coming in knowing that you didn't have any returning pitchers? Is that harder? Or is it like, hey, we're all in this together. We're all learning together. We're going to figure it out and we're going to be great. Like, which one would you have rather had?
I honestly think I couldn't have walked into a better situation. There was no past history with any coach where they were comparing me to anything. We were all new. They had, they just were, they embraced me. They embraced everything Gator. And I just think it's been really fun and probably the best scenario I could have, if I could have chosen one.
Love it.
Well, Amanda, I know you chatted with Ava Brown and Keegan Rothrock earlier this season too. And to see that transformation, I think from your perspective, from this whole group's perspective though, like that has been really cool to see just from a development standpoint. It's hard to believe they're freshmen.
We can't even give you all the details just because it's normal for coaching staffs and programs to hide, certain things. But I've said this I'm going through conversations with Chelsey about, being our coach, and I don't have a healthy pitcher on staff. Keegan just went down. Ava just went down. We were like, oh my gosh, what are we gonna? Oh, hey, by the way, you want to be the pitching coach? I think it's really good. It's a great place. You won't even have anybody to work with all fall, but we think you'll be great for the program. But it was the amount of and all of which have really come out the other side. Keegan and Ava, and we have Olivia, and then Mackenzie Wooten's a grad transfer. We'll call her a walk-on. I don't like to use that term for athletes, but. She came here on no scholarship because she's going into our physical therapy school, and she's just finished her first year of, in residency here. But it was really the transformation, and Chelsey getting her, her ideals in place, and the girls learning what they can, what they could tolerate, what they could absorb, what they could learn, school, friends, home. I mean, I don't know if Chelsey would be willing to share this, but just the amount of conversations that are happening outside of practice about being a Gator and about being away from home for the first time in their lives and all the other stuff. I mean, it was a lot harder than it looked when we took the field from, February to March, when it looked like, whoa, my gosh, these guys are unbelievable. It was a lot of dang work, and Chelsey gets a lot of credit. Francesca gets a lot of credit. Brittany Souliard's our program coordinator. She gets a lot of credit. I mean, she's got it's unbelievable the amount of stuff that goes on behind the scenes. And I think Chelsey could maybe dive into that a little bit. And we don't make this about just Keegan and Ava, but and Olivia and Mackenzie, but just the amount of, how much pitchers have needs anyway. And then these guys are freshmen. They're doing it for the first time in a new place. Whoa.
Yeah, I guess I'll share, but I think for any freshman in any position, the transformation or the coming into just a new environment without your families, especially when we're talking about our girls, they're really close with their families and being away for the first time. So I think to just kind of echo what Coach Walton said, there was a lot of just things outside of softball. They were already great. They're really, really amazing athletes. So I think the other stuff was probably the hurdles that they needed to kind of face head on. And I know Coach Enea work kind of hand in hand. They just wanted a little bit more like a family environment. They were missing that. And so some would come over to our house just to be around our kids and have a home cooked meal, or be around just a different atmosphere than the dorm lifestyle. But or they just wanted to sit and talk to somebody, like go grab coffee or a tea. There's a local place in town that one of them really likes to kind of frequent. But I just think there's more to just being a coach. You got to know the people, you got to know what the people want, and just kind of what feeds their soul, because that's just as important as when they're in the bullpen or at practice performing. They need to feel good in their hearts all the time. And so I think it's been really good that we have people on staff who can just add value in different ways. We talk about all the time that Coach Thomas is just so positive all the time. He's so good with all of them. There's, he's a father figure to some. He's just the guy who's going to hype you up all the time. Coach Walton's the one who's going to hold the standard. And he's going to be the one who pushes you to be your best. And at the same time, like, embrace you when you're getting there and celebrate. And then, like I said, Coach Enea, we just all have our different, pieces that we can add to putting this puzzle together. And it's just been really, really fun to watch and be a part of.
That's really cool to hear. I mean, as somebody who's outside of this Gator, the inner circle of the Gator softball community, like, this is cool to hear about just how all of those things come to play and how a lot of the off the field stuff comes to play, right? I know Amanda and I talk about that a lot from week to week. And so, Fran, I feel like I want to hear from you too, from this experience. You're broadcasting forever, went back home essentially to Gainesville, and what a season it's been.
But but Jenna, the cool thing about this screen right here with Francesca and Amanda, to me, when I look at the inner circle of being a Florida Gator, these two not only have they held the standard of being a Gator, but they've really made being a Gator a lot cooler than it probably was before them. Francesca she was bad on the field, and but then the heart and the care for other people and recruits and that stuff, she was so amazing. And Amanda just really took off from the, and they probably, I can't remember what your area, are you the 818, Coach Enea? You the 818?
I'm the 818.
I knew you're the 818. Are you, Amanda, what was yours?
So my area code is 818.
Okay, I knew it. They're from the same.
I'm from 805.
Okay.
But all of our phone number is 818.
Yeah, she has to clarify that because I'm 805 as well. But I think we all played against each other's high schools back in the day.
So. And we're all of us are, except for Chelsey, we're all from Southern California, and Chelsey being in Northern California, all Californians. But go ahead, Coach Enea, you tell them. So Francesca's mom made me make a promise to her when I recruited her that I would never call her Fran. So I don't call her Fran. It's Francesca to me. And my daughter, my kids, my daughter used to say it all the time when she'd come up, I want to go talk to Francesca. She would do it all the time.
That's totally accurate. But yeah, so sorry for my audio. I don't know why it's not working. But you were correct, Jenna. I did say I've known you before Amanda did for the connection. So I got you. But for me to be able to come back to Florida as a coach has been extremely special. I've said this multiple times, and I've said it to the players from day one, probably up until yesterday. My biggest goal as being a coach here is to have them have the same type experience that I had as a player, but better. There was just something about the University of Florida when you are doing things the right way, it gets into your soul and it sticks, and you cannot help but fall in love with the university, with the team, and with the culture that has been cultivated here for Florida softball. So knowing that we've had a lot of new players, it was good to be able to mold them, for them to understand what it takes to be a successful Gator. And it's not just wins and losses. It's being a good human being. It's embracing the struggles to then celebrate the successes. It's also exposing some of your weaknesses, not just riding the highs and patting you on the back for all the great things that you've already known that you could do. It's kind of making you very vulnerable so that you can then find out how much better of a person and a player that you can become. being someone that that played for Coach Walton, I know how he pushes you to be the best. And sometimes it's important to have a shoulder you can lean on for someone to then explain exactly what he means when he's talking about adjustments, or maybe he's trying to get another ounce out of you that maybe a player doesn't quite understand. So for me to be there and explain to them, he's asking you this, he's telling you this, and then seeing that light bulb go off fully bright has been extremely rewarding. And I really could not have done it without not just the players, but the coaching staff that we have together. Obviously, I love Coach Walton, but being able to get to know Chelsey and Coach Dobbins, and then work with Coach Thomas every day in the cages is really, really fun. And I think we have a great dynamic in the cages with our hitters.
That's a Hall of Fame point of view right there too, is what I heard. That was such a cool video too, seeing when you found out being around the team. Side note.
That was really cool. And actually, we were getting ready to play a game, and he started talking about me. And my first thought was stop talking about me. Make it about the players. Don't worry about me right now. And then he said the Hall of Fame, and I was completely in shock and awe. And it was something that I've always wanted to be part of when I found out that there was a Florida Hall of Fame, because I love Florida so much. Not even because I wanted it for any vanity. I wanted it because I gave every single part of myself to this program and to the university, and to feel rewarded in that sense was something I really wanted. And I feel the timing of the universe gave it to me perfectly, so that I could be surrounded by players that understand my love and passion for the University of Florida.
My heart is exploding right now. How cool is that? Gosh, just to have an alum on staff that loves the University of Florida, the way that it should be loved, right? Obviously I just love Florida so much, and just to see Fran, who is the ultimate example of what Florida softball is, to have her be back in the players. And obviously it's showing with the way that they're playing, with how much passion they have, how much fun they're having, and just they feel so free. It feels like OG Florida softball watching it, what you created. So gosh, just how I feel about you, but I'm just over the moon.
I just want to say, I don't know if that's something that I created. I just think it's something that the team, that team when I was here from 2006 to 2010 created together off of the leadership of Coach Walton. It is really cool to still see the pillars of success, let's say, that Florida had, that still exists today. But it definitely wasn't just me. It was that heartbeat of every single player wanting to go out and not just win softball games, but have fun with Florida across our chest.
I love it. All right, Coach Thomas, it's your turn now. Obviously the offensive explosion that Florida has experienced this year, and what a turnaround. It was no secret that it was when are these bats going to come around? And it's just then that and then some, right? These hitters look powerful. They look fearless. They are strong, and they look so confident. I just want to know, what was the turnaround? What was the clicking? What was it? Was it bringing in some new fresh faces and some confidence? What was it that really made the switch for these Gators to go off like this?
Well, I think, kind of drawing on everything that's been said already, you can see the team chemistry amongst the staff already. And I think that bleeds into the players. And I think that, just talking about the turnover, we have 11 new players out of 18. So we're more new than we are old. And some of the old are really old. They've been here for a long time, Skylar and Katie Kistler. And, it seems like they've been here for a super long time. So it was almost, I don't know if refresh is the right word, but you're, starting with coach, you're teaching everybody almost back to ground zero. The older players are kind of getting a refresh that they haven't had. It's kind of, you may get immune to it after a while. And then you have all the new players. And so I think that was probably, you got good workers in the older players. And then you had a bunch of freshmen and transfers that came in with an edge to them. They already had an edge to them. So the work ethic was incredible. This team works. They work. They know what the standard is. I don't know if they work to your level, but like some of them might. But they all love being in the cages. They love hitting. They love it can't be, practice, so to speak. It's more training. It's more working. And if you don't love being in the cages, then I don't know how you're ever going to be a successful hitter. I've never been around elite hitters that didn't like hitting a lot. And so this group, and really, Corby bringing in some of her stuff and Jossie bringing in some of her stuff, and then the freshmen, and then Skylar, returning, SEC National Player of the Year, the way she works. I just think that mesh of everybody together, and then just, all of us working with the hitters, Coach Enea and myself, bringing our own little niche to them. And it's been fun. It's been a fun group to work with. But I just think that probably, I don't know, early in the year, we were maybe a little bit on our heels, not knowing what to expect. And then, Coach, you've heard it recently, but like Coach setting the tone of, hey, we're punching. We're going after everybody. We're setting the tone. We're good. We're really good. We're going to punch instead of kind of waiting to see what we're going to get thrown our way. I think our lineup has really taken that to heart, and you see it on the field.
I'm always so impressed by that. We're talking about the freshmen, the new talent coming in, just their first experience in college softball. But then also, yes, new talent coming in from other places. To be able to mesh like that is really, really hard. And you all have shown glimpses as to why you've been able to do that this season. And it's because, like you said earlier, team chemistry I'm seeing just amongst you all is obviously going to bleed into the rest of the team. But speaking of which, Coach Thomas, you were teammates in college with Coach Walton.
This is true.
Yes. What's it like being his teammate now on a different side of things on the coaching staff?
There's some similar characteristics. Obviously, we're both probably a lot more mature than we were when we were teammates together. But it's kind of the same. I mean, do you think this guy wasn't competitive when he was playing? I think that's where that never changes in your body. Like, I think that competitive fire, the drive to be the best, the work ethic. And I think, for both of us, different, because then we came together, but in our roots and our past of, what the standard of hard work is to get to where you're at. Because we weren't like, the one thing I say in the recruiting process to our players is, I can't relate to you. I can't relate to Kendra Falby. I wasn't recruited by a school like Florida out of high school. That wasn't my route. I went to Division II school and redshirted because I was so good, and then played, and then went to junior college, and then ended up playing, on a national championship team. And my route was perfect for me, but, the spotlight that our players are under from the recruiting process, travel ball, to committing to Florida, to getting on campus and having to deal with that. That's the stuff that you can't relate to. So I think that's where, going back to Coach Walton and I, we have a different perspective of that. And I think it kind of helps to keep them a little bit grounded, and then being able to relate to that a little bit too.
So he still has a job after that answer, it sounds like, Coach Walton.
He does.
He's good to go.
Does. Yeah. Listen, we've gone. He said, I was so good, I redshirted at a junior college out of high school. That's how good I was. And so, but I learned how to work, and I learned how to play, and sitting back and watching people that are good, and you learn from them. You learn from all the things they do well and the mistakes, and, just you learn how to compete, you learn how to win, you learn how to do something right. I think that was the great learning experience for me, being a redshirt at a really good school with really good players. Playing with him, I always roomed with position players. I never roomed with pitchers, very rarely. He was my roommate in summer ball before we got to Oklahoma. And he and I roomed together after I played at Oklahoma together. We lived 1 year together when I was playing professional baseball. And I always liked rooming with position players because I like to learn how to get hitters out. I want to learn how to do things. And he and I would just brainstorm things. And we built such a good relationship that, I could sit at the mouth of the dugout and, with catcher's feet and I could help him with breaking balls and changeups and other things like that. And just really, we developed a really good relationship, a competitive relationship in ball together. But what's not to like about Aric Thomas? I mean, he's a super nice guy. He's always been, he's been very friendly. He was really, even though you watch him run now, he doesn't look like he was super fast, but he could run, he could jump, he could hit, he was fast, he could steal bases, he was really good. He was a really good player. The only probably knock he had was maybe not a plus arm. Otherwise, he probably would have played in the big leagues because he could really do a lot of things. But fun to be around. And nobody worked harder than we had 3 guys on our team, and Aric was one of them. They were in the cages every day before practice. Like, I'm talking hours. You say early hit, I'm like, it's Aric Thomas, Rich Hill's hit. I mean, they were in the cages at all times. And I think he and I being JC guys, we know what it's like to work because it's the only way you're getting better. You got to work. And he instilled that. And I mean, shoot, he brings that to our athletes every day. I mean, I've never once looked in the cage and go, oh, Coach Thomas is having a bad day, he's down. Never once, not one day. He could have to babysit 17 dogs or something. The guy's still coming smiling and laughing, and it doesn't matter. He's just a rock for all of our people. He just does a really good job of nobody's going to ever be more prepared.
Amen. I think we talk a lot about like Jocelyn Erickson and Corby Otis, just like the addition to what they've meant to this program. But I don't feel like we're talking about Kendra Falby enough. And obviously she's had a crazy good career. But this year feels a little bit different in the way of how she's stepping up, especially in big games, and just being such a catalyst for your offense. And what have you seen in the maturity of her and how she's changed? I know Coach Thomas, feel free to chime in as well after Coach Walton, just because I know that you spend a lot of time with Kendra as well. But just what have you seen a difference in her this year?
Yeah, her freshman year, I would say that she was allergic to 2 strikes. She had to hurry up and get on or out in the first pitch. Like, I got to hurry up and get out because I'm going to strike out. Like, it was just a little bit of anxiety, a little nervousness about her, a little bit, not super confident. That's one thing too. She didn't play a ton of center field in travel ball. And I always told Coach Thomas, like, why isn't she playing center field? She's fast. She can go. And it's really because she was too nice. Like, she didn't take over the field. She wasn't Amanda Lorenz in the outfield, the center field. She wasn't like, get out. She was really, really just kind of quiet and very reserved, but yet she loved to have fun. But on the softball field, she was just a little, timid was never the word, but just not a major, like, vocal leader. I think her confidence was a little low. Last year, she got better. This fall, she had a great fall. And she's really started to, like, voice her opinion, like tell you, hey, I got the ball, get out of my way, or I want to steal bases, or, hey, Coach Walton, I want to work on head first dives. I need to get better at sliding in. I'm like, yeah, let's go. When I talked to her about head first dives her freshman year, she's like, no, I don't slide head first. And it's like, and now she's just doing things on her own. She's had a fantastic year in practice. And I'll say it like, the amount of barrels she gets, the line drive she gets swinging it's probably 1A behind Skylar. Like, she gets as many barrels as anybody we have in our program, and it's carried over into the number of hits and all the RBIs and the things that she gets in the leadoff position. But her confidence has grown, her work ethic has grown, her ability. She's a fun person. Like, she's really fun, and she's got a career 500 batting average in postseason. So regionals, super regionals, World Series. She's a 500. That's the highest batting average of anybody I think we have on our team. So she's been in the past in postseason. She's been really, really good. But yes, we've coached her up. Yes, Coach Thomas has helped her. Yes, I've helped her. But I'll just give Kendra a lot of credit that she's coachable. She learns. She's tough. She's athletic. And she's just learned how to get a little bit better without focusing on all the weaknesses and all the bad stuff that maybe, she's not perfect, but I think she's really grown in her confidence. And she's super. All the stuff you see on TV, she does every single day in practice when nobody's watching. Dives, slides, jump over the fence, robs, smiles, throws the ball down in the outfield. Like, it's legit. I love watching her practice, to be honest with you.
Yeah, adding to that, I think when she first got here, I don't think Kendra knew what Kendra was. And I think that's like she's trying to grasp at straws at times. Hey, I do this. and I swing and miss. So now I'm going to hit. And then I do that. And then it was always based on one pitch. And, you know, fast forward a lot of at-bats, a lot of work, a lot of her, you know, sitting down and figuring that type of stuff out. Now she has a plan. Now she knows what she wants to do against certain pitchers. Now she knows what she wants to do when she sees what the defense is doing. And, it's been fun to watch, you know, and again, it goes back to the working at the right things. And she's a very visual person. And we got to set up targets for her all the time. Like literally when we're hitting in different cages on the road, we got like, okay, see this little beam over here? That's where you're shooting for on this slap. And see that little, you know, pitcher's pal over there? That's where you're aiming on that slap. Or
well, it's funny you say that because in our program, slappers don't hit on the field. Slappers hit in the cages. Work on your bounces, your hops, your angles, your 5-6 hole. You know, the big hitters hit the ball on the field. You're gonna hit the ball over the fence, off the scoreboard. But she wants to see the ball flight so much, and I think it's really helped her because she tells us, "Hey, I want to hit on the field. I want to hit on the field. I want to hit on the field." I'm like, "All right, let's go." And so she's really learned how to, you know, correct her swing mechanics by ball flight, and it's really helped her get better. And I think that's a credit to her again, telling us what she needs, not just waiting for our coaches to tell her what she needs to do. She's really good at that.
Yeah. And the defensive parts, like getting to hit her fly balls every day is like Christmas morning. I mean, I hit balls and the person that's always feeding me balls, if you could probably record some of the words that come out of my mouth, like I'll hit a ball and I'm like, no way. And she'll like, you know, do some leaping crazy catch. And, you know, I thought off the bat, there's no chance she was going to get to that ball. And like Coach says, she does that every day. Like every day she's making a catch or she's doing something that I don't want to say you don't expect her to do, because now it's like you almost are surprised when she doesn't get to a ball. So it's fun. And she, you know, and she, like Coach said, the personality, the work, she brings out every single day.
500 batting average in postseason. That's awesome. Like just we always talk about peaking at the right time, right? And like doing it when it matters most. Like that's just a tangible representation of that. But when you're looking ahead now to regionals, supers, Oklahoma City, I have a chance to host all the way up to OKC as the number 4 seed too. What is the planning process? And we can hear from a little bit from all of you because there's obviously a lot of pieces to it.
Yeah, I'll kick it off in that. And then obviously, you know, I talked to Chelsey today and talked to Francesca today. And, you know, Aric's been here now. This is, I think, your 8th postseason with me. I think, Aric, right? Is that right? 8?
The year's not going fast.
7. We lost
7th year. And we had a COVID year in there. So yeah. 6.
Okay. That makes so. But I think the biggest key is just trying to figure out how to make this the most normal thing that we do all year long. And in other words, we got summer school starting now, so we got some class schedules. We got weightlifting. We got weather. Florida, you get weather this time of year, so we've got all kinds of things to manage and navigate and stuff. So I think the biggest key is really just trying to make this the most normal. Take care of the bodies. We didn't get home till almost 3:00 in the morning. Sunday morning or Saturday after the SEC tournament, but it was worth it. So we just managed the bodies on Sunday, managed the bodies today, really, and then tomorrow will be our first full go at the week. But to me, it's just really, it's about the players. Like postseasons are about players. It's not about coaching ideas and all these new things. It's all about players and getting them to buy into who they are, what they're good at, what they're not good at. Just don't let the other team know you're not good at it. Like, just be good at what you're good at. And, I told her, I embraced it with our players today. Like, you know what? We've got 6 athletes that they're going to end their Gator career. They're going to end their career the way they want to and how they want to. And guess what? They get to sleep in their beds on their way doing it. And I think that's the coolest part is you got to embrace that stuff. I think some coaches aren't going to talk about, well, it's a big game. Yeah, it is a big game. And those that don't talk about it, their players are talking about it. And then they go out and they can't play because it's a big game. And so I think some of the wars we have in this practice out here on this field is probably as big as any big game we're going to play in. They just got to get them to understand now the team has a different uniform on. So for me, I think it's just getting them to all buy into who they are. And if we can bottle up all the things that we've seen over the past, 3 weeks, I feel really good about our chances of beating anybody at any time, any place, anywhere. We got a lot of work to still do, and we know that. We gave up 12 runs in an inning this year, which is awesome. Feels great. Give up 12 runs, but we scored 12 runs in an inning, and we threw up a 15 spot in the middle of a week one time. And so there's so many things that we can do. The one thing that I can tell you about the transformation is the players. It's not the coaches, but making them aware of who they are. All right. Hey, we're not perfect. So guess what? We're up 5-0. Let's make it 12. All right. Oh, you know what? We're up 7-0 in the third inning. All right. Well, if you want to bunt, go bunt. Yeah, but nope. We gave up 12 runs one time. We're not going to ever worry about feelings. We're trying to win a softball game, so score as many runs as we can, as many times as we can do it. And that's been the mantra here for the last 3 weeks is, just keep your pedal on the metal and let's go for it, and take our chances. And they bought in completely, and it's been really fun. Every time I call something, call a bunt, pop it up, call a hit and run, double play, run and hit, line drive, double play. So forget calling stuff. I just keep giving hit home run and let them do the rest. It's not coaching. It's just going to be about us just letting them try to be as confident as they can and keep them, as prepared as humanly possible for the best softball time in their careers.
And maybe even the pitching preparation perspective as well, Coach Dobbins. Any thoughts on that? Well, I'm sure you have many thoughts on that, but can you share some?
Sure. You know what? I just really, when you were asking that question, I just was kind of sitting in my own thoughts and being like, we've had the best preparation possible. All fall, all January, we pitched to this Gators hitting lineup. And I mean, those kids got turned around, and then they figured out a way. And we were seeing progress, and we're pitching to the best hitters in the country over and over again. And so I think the preparation has been there all along, and they're just now starting to be able to enjoy it because they get to go pitch against opponents who have not seen them 150 times, but really watch how their pitches are moving towards against our hitters and seeing, oh, I can get Skylar Wallace to do this if I hit this location, or I can get Reagan Walsh to do this. And so I think we've had the best preparation possible. But just to echo what Coach Walton said, nothing's changing. We're not doing anything just extraordinary at this point. We're just going to go with what we've been good at all along and just keep ourselves healthy.
Yeah. And I feel like as coaches, every single coach is a leader for these young players. And if now that we're in postseason, we completely flip the script and we change everything of how they've been preparing, that would probably create panic in their eyes. So just to echo what the two have already said, like, we don't necessarily need to change too much of what we're doing because we work hard every single day since we've stepped foot on this campus back in August, and we push every day because we want to get the best out of them. Now these players understand what we're asking and what it takes. And it's just so important for us as coaches to maintain that and to continue to feed confidence into each one of these players the way that they need to absorb it.
Yeah, I just putting a stamp on that. Amanda knows just, coach is the best at that. It doesn't matter who we're playing if we're not good. So that's something that, coach is really stressed to us as coaches, to our players, is, taking care of that. Obviously, the normal preparations behind the scenes that we do as a staff on the opponent and where we might play positioning wise and what the other pitchers have, stuff like that's normal, but it wouldn't be any normal than we were playing the first game of the SEC tournament last week. It's the same normal preparation, or, any midweek game that we're going to play, we put the same stuff in, but we don't spend an enormous time on the opponent. Just because, again, like I said, it starts at the top. Coach always stress, it doesn't matter. If I don't have the best Amanda Lorenz ready to go, then what does it matter? It doesn't matter. I could know, when they eat lunch, dinner, and breakfast, the opposing pitcher, but if I don't have the best of our players, it doesn't even matter.
We've had a few coaches on the podcast this year just talking about, and they would talk about culture and just different things. And when you guys are talking about preparation and just making sure that you guys are prepared, number one, not worried about what the other team is doing. I think just to my time at Florida and how like that bleeds into real life post-college, right? Like we need to worry about who we are and take care of us first, because if we're worried about somebody else and all these other things going on in the world, like how are we going to be able to manage that if we're not taking care of what we need to take care of first, right? Like I need to be my best self in order to attack or whatever I have that day to attack the rest of the world. So as you're building that culture when you were starting at Florida and then now with new coaches and just so many fresh new faces, like how do you get them bought in? And obviously you had no problem with that this year, of the amount of new faces immediately knowing what the Gator standard is and loving it. Like you can see it when you see them go on the field, how much they love and value being a Gator. Like if I'm just a random person, you told me Jocelyn Erickson and Corby Otis are transfers, I wouldn't believe you, right? Like they look like they were recruited to be Gators, like from their whole life, they were destined to be here. And that's just really special to get somebody bought in that quickly. So I would love to hear a little bit more insight about that.
You know, when you're asking the question and making the statement about the players, the hair on my arm stood up and just started getting excited, listening and thinking and feeling. You know, Corby Otis is a Gator. You know, I know she came from us from another school, but she and I are like, I mean, we're it. And she's got a class. I mean, she took the MCAT for fun in the off season. Like, I mean, come on. Like, how do you do that? Well, you have to be organized. You have to be disciplined. You have to know your time management skills. You have to be super smart. And then when she started bringing some of that MCAT out to the field, I'm like, whoa. I don't need you like doing a section of the MCAT out here where you're trying to hit. I need you just to hit. And she is completely bought in to just being normal. Like what I mean by normal is, hey, you have a weakness. Hey, you have a strength. Hey, you have great work ethic. But if you don't understand what you're good at and how to be good at it, you know, and swing at good pitches, and quit swinging at pitches over here just because you think you're going to hit it here or there. She's been fantastic. She's great body language, great energy, great teammate. She made an error. It wasn't really an error against a team that ended up leading to a couple runs. She sent me a text message that was this long at night and said, Coach Walton, I'm extremely embarrassed and sorry for making that mistake in the game. I texted her right away. I said, hey, one thing, you can apologize all you want, but do never apologize for the way you play the game. You play the game the right way. You play it hard, and you're going to make mistakes. I appreciate the text more than you know, but you do not ever have to apologize for your play because you play the game the right way, and I love it. Jocelyn is a little bit of a different personality than Corby, but she has been a hard worker, super intense, loves to win, loves to train. And again, I think that's what I would say about this program I'm blue collar. Like I want five-star players. I want them. I want 5 stars. But sometimes 5 stars work like 2 stars because they're 5-star talent. I want 5 stars that want to work to be 6 stars. And Jocelyn Erickson is working to be a 6-star. Skylar Wallace is working to be a 6-star. Amanda Lorenz, you know, the first position player in our career, in my career, and first position player in Florida history, is a 6-star and a 4-time All-American and 3-time first-team All-American, which is, you know, stupid. But you can say what you want to say, but you have to do what you want to do, and that's what Corby does, and that's what Jocelyn does. Kendra is doing, Keegan is doing, and Ava is doing, and the one person I'm so excited for, and she's had a tough go this year, is Mia Williams, because she practices really hard, she trains really hard, she trains really well. Like she's a hard worker. She just gets in there and works and works and works. But I tried to prep her on, you know, dealing with failure because it's going to be tough. You're a freshman, and every freshman goes through. Amanda Lorenz's worst, her 3rd-team All-American season was her freshman year. Like she was so bad, she was a 3rd-team All-American. But everybody has a rough go at the first time. It's the first time doing all these things, and you know. But I'm really happy for her that the 2 home runs she hit in the SEC tournament were monstrous. But we see that every day in practice. We just weren't getting it in the games. And but I think the thing that I'm the most excited, and we're not done yet. Don't think that we're just, you know, we're putting that SEC championship trophy in the hallway and we're going to call it a year. We got a lot of work to still do. But the cool thing about it is that the players, you know, Brooke Bernard and Alyssa Hovermill, Emily Wilkie, Avery Gels, Olivia Miller, Mackenzie Wooten. Those kids haven't had the first team All-American years, but they've had first team All-American work ethic, first team All-American teammate, first team All-American Gator. I mean, they just have really, really embraced what it's like to be a good teammate, a good player. Emily Wilkie had a great, legit home run the other day. Avery Gell's got a nice double play for us to end the game. We're starting to get to where I think everybody is bought into who they are. And I think that everybody's actually a little bit better now knowing who they are than where we were before, where we're trying to find our identity and try to do some things. And we're getting better and better and better. I mean, Ava comes in and gets a save against Georgia the other day and just pitched her tail off. And I think it's just we're finally getting the competitors to all really just kind of flow down the same stream together is kind of what I'm witnessing.
I feel like I'm putting together the pieces as to why there are so many Florida alums that I like. Amanda Lorenz being one of them, Francesca Enea being another one, right? 4-time All-American, Hall of Famer, and then Aubrey Monroe's another one who I've
Francesca would have been a 4-time All-American too. I promise you this, but she tore her ACL. Not only did she tear her ACL, but she then decides she's going to finish the season out with the torn ACL, and her batting average really plummeted from that time. But that just tells you all you need to know about Francesca Enea's toughness. She would have been a 4-time All-American, but unfortunately she had a freak injury that tore one of them. So sorry about that, Francesca.
No, it's okay. But, every experience, you learn something from it. Like that, my freshman year getting hurt. I don't know if I would have had the career that I ended up having if I didn't get hurt, because it taught me a lot about myself and lessons that I then carried over into the real world, and then lessons that I can relate to current players right now when someone faces not just like an injury, but any type of adversity to where you need to change a position. I was a catcher when I got hurt. I was a starting catcher here at the University of Florida. And then I had to learn a completely new position in the outfield. Like coach put number 7 next to my name. And I was like, I don't know where that is. Is that in the outfield? Is that in the grass? So being able to take those types of experiences and leak them into our players right now has been truly instrumental when you're recruiting athletes that can hit and trying to find homes and spots for themselves, or in the same regard, just the wear and tear from a long season and trying to keep a strong mentality. So yeah, you go back to that, like maybe that sucks, but in reality, it taught me so much that now I can teach to these young athletes.
But that's it right there. That's kind of what I mean by I'm putting all the pieces together, because yes, all of these outstanding accolades for so many alum, and then throw Aubrey Monroe in the mix, being an Olympian. She's another one I've interviewed before, but it's that mentality and the stuff that actually doesn't necessarily have to do with the accolades that I'm seeing as a common theme in the alums that come through this program, which obviously feeds into the support that you get forever. I mean, Amanda's a forever Gator. We know it. I saw that video when you were saying hello to everybody during that Georgia series. Like, we know. So it's less of a question for me and more of a statement where I just appreciate that in our game from all of you.
I appreciate, so people like Amanda, and Francesca, and we've got several on this team too, and several in the past. You mentioned Aubrey and Kirsty Merritt's one for me, Michelle Moultrie. That's what makes me not have to work. It's me coming in to do what I love to do, and that's train. I love to train. I love to get on the field and get every ounce of everything out of our athletes. But it's when they're appreciative of it and they understand that it's not for me, because I don't care what I don't need any accolade about Tim Walton. It doesn't matter. I could care less what accolades I get if my players don't. I won't say like, because like's not fair. I think like is kind of relative at times, but appreciate what we're doing to try to help you. I'm not trying to anchor you down or hurt you. I don't want you to strike out, but I wouldn't mind if you struck out, if you're fighting or you're selfish or you're out. Hey, maybe you could strike out here a couple times and maybe we can get you back down to here to build you back up again. But I think the key is really the appreciative piece. And that's what I have been very appreciative of my time as a Florida Gator, as the head coach here, and bringing in people that understand where we came from. When I sat down Francesca's team in the locker room and said, what do you guys want to be? We want to be the best team in the country. All right, well, who are the 2 best teams in the country? And there were 2 teams from Pac-10 that were the best. Well, let's do that. But everybody we recruit, don't look at them as your competition. Let's look at getting better and better and better and building this program to sustain the test of time. How do you do that? Well, you've got to get along. You have to like each other. You have to appreciate each other. And most importantly, you have to respect each other. And I think that's the one thing that I've really tried to instill in every recruit that we recruit, is tell them it's going to be hard, but at the end of the day, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be a great experience. We're not 24/7 softball. I mean, shoot, last night we're at the selection show at Dave & Buster's, right? I mean, most people give us a hard. I've had a player in the past where the mom's like, "Hey, can the girls go to football games? I heard you guys just practice all the time." I'm like, what are you talking about? I love football. We're going to football. We don't just do all softball stuff. And I try to give our girls an opportunity to be great students, be what you want, get your degree, get what you want to get out of your degree. And then, hey, have a personal life. Like, get away from softball. It's okay. Unplug it. Because when you come back out here, we're not unplugging it. It's all softball. We're going to go on the field hard. And that's the cool thing about having Aric and Francesca and Chelsey and Charlotte Eccles, who couldn't make it because she had her fiance had to help him out with something today. But long story short, it's really about us being available to our team, our program, to help them accomplish their goals. That's the most important thing for me. Is I want my players to be able to achieve what they want to achieve, how they want to achieve it. And I'm just here to help you. I'm not trying to stand in your way, but I'm not going to help you if you're going to get in the way of somebody else's success, because that's what a team's all about.
Yeah. And I mean, I was going to touch on that too. Starts at the top of early in my freshman year, Coach Walton called me in for a meeting and asked my goals and what I want to accomplish at Florida. I was like, I want to win a national championship. I want to win multiple national championships. I want to hit 500. I want to be an All-American. I want to do all these things. And he's like, I love it. But just so you know, that's going to take this much work, and you're about here. So how can we manage the work ethic to kind of get up to these goals that you want to? He's like, I'll do anything. If you want to hit early, I'm there. Like, I'll hit early. Like, let's do it. But if you want to accomplish all of these things, you gotta work like it. And so ever since then, I've taken that, obviously, and I will take it throughout my whole life. But you want the hard. Nothing good comes without the hard. But also having a coach, a mentor to tell you, okay, well, if you want it, you have to work for it. You can't just put it in the atmosphere and it's going to come to you, right? Like, you need to work for it, and it's going to be hard, and it's going to be ugly, and you're not always going to see the results right away. But that's what you want in a coach in whatever program any listeners are going to go to. Like, you want that. You want somebody who's going to look at you and hold you accountable and say, no, you want A, B, and C. Doesn't mean you don't show up today. You're going to give me what you have. Like, there was many times I forgot about A, B, and C. I get a text, see you at 1:15 tomorrow. Okay, coach. Yep, see you there. Early hit tomorrow. Totally forgot. So things like that, I'm so thankful for. Last question, and then you guys, thank you so much for your time. Francesca started Wedgie Gate. We heard that it was when it started when you were there. I just love that it's getting the flowers that it deserves now. And I loved getting that text message from you. Like, did you guys do wedgies too? We absolutely did. We never missed a wedgie. So please just give us, our listeners, a little insight. How did it start? Why did it start? Because I don't even know. All I know is we did the wedgies every time, and I wanted to lift them up by their pants.
Well, first of all, I think it's wild that tradition that I think it might have started like my sophomore or junior year. Maybe it was my junior year. Is still continuing on, because I saw them do a wedgie earlier this season. I thought to myself, no way, that old tradition that we had started has continued on, and then come to find out it had. And I just told Coach Walton the evolution of it, or how it started, was because we were at a point where we were at that point, we were such an all business type of a team. We worked hard and we showed up and we were going to win. And that was it. That was it. Our goal was to run rule every single team that we played, whether you were ranked number 2 or whether you weren't even ranked. Like, we were going to dominate you. That was just the mindset we had. But I guess with that,
Jenna, she threw that in there and said, whether you're ranked number 2, because her mindset, we were always ranked number 1. That's her mindset.
Yeah.
I know it.
I caught on. Don't worry.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, obviously, of course. But then I guess that sometimes become like a little mundane. And so Coach had kind of told us, like, you guys aren't fun to watch right now, and you need to be more fun, and you need to bring a little bit more flair. And we actually didn't know how to do that. It was like hard to figure that out. We're like, so what are we supposed to do? Like, dance or something? Like, we weren't sure. And this predates TikTok. So no, we didn't dance. So we were like, okay, what are the little things we could do? We're like, why don't we dogpile when someone hits a home run? Like, why don't we just try to show some ridiculous emotion when we do something that we take for granted, but is actually a really big deal and it's hard to do. So someone came up with doing a wedgie when you hit a home run to make you smile. Personally, I didn't always love it because, you know, I had like my uniform was tucked in a certain way every single time, but I had to get over it because it's for the team. But that was how the wedgie started, just trying to make the game a little bit more fun instead of just showing up and thinking you're going to win.
You didn't always love it because you hit so many home runs that you experienced it a lot. I caught on to that too. Don't worry.
I will say that there were some times where I hit a home run in a big moment and I was like, give me that wedgie because that was a hard at bat and I deserve the biggest wedgie possible. Let's go.
But the thing that she said, I didn't even know what happened. Like, I usually fist bump and keep on walking this way. I don't even know that stuff's going on. And I saw it one time. I was like, what the heck's going on over there? And it's so funny because I'm very particular. I will say I want something, but I really don't want it. Like, I want you to do this, but don't show up the other team. I want you guys to cheer, but don't cheer at their team. To their defense, I'm really hard to please in some of those things. I want you to be fun to watch, but I don't want you to embarrass the other team. I don't want you to do so. The wedgie is a perfect way to keep it in-house, and so much in-house, you know, most of the world didn't even know it existed, which is the best way to celebrate something. You don't have to rub it in the other team's face when you hit a home run. You can do it in a tasteful way. I don't know if wedgies are tasteful or not, but I'm sure some of the wedgies you had were tasteful there, Francesca. But I think to me that's probably where and why it was so secretive, is because I'm very particular about showing the other team up.
Coach, is that a sentence you ever thought you would say? I appreciate the wedgie.
I didn't say that. I'm done with it.
Basically, you said that. You're like, if that's how they're going to do it, I like the wedgie.
I appreciated. I can't win here. I'd appreciate the faithfulness to the opponent. How about that?
I love it. And please tell Brooke that we just think her execution has been outstanding. Like, she has taken that role and like she's the first one there to make sure that no one gets in there. It's her wedgie to give at all times. And I respect it so much.
And the energy that she provides us is, I mean, I'm not kidding you. It's very, she may not get to play in every single game, every single time, but the energy and the stuff that she brings our team does not go unnoticed by the coaches or anybody else for that matter. She's done a fantastic job of being a legit teammate and hopefully she'll be given a whole lot more wedgies coming up.
Love it.
That's another sentence. Don't know if we thought you'd say, Coach. But we're glad you did. And we're so glad that all of you joined. This has been awesome. Obviously, like, I knew you all, like, your reunion's amazing, but I've just been, again, honored to be a part of this, because hearing this sort of inside knowledge of not only just the softball stuff, but the people stuff has been really, really cool. So thank you again.
Well, I think it's important that, you know, that for everybody, just there are human sides to coaches, even though the television cameras don't always present it that. I always laugh at the Instagram thing that pops up once a year on my timeline. The coach that never smiles. That's my reputation. And it's like, if I over smiled, everybody's like, the coach that smiles too much. You know, it's one of those. So I think it's always healthy. So obviously having my coaches with me, which I'm with every single day, this is an appreciation for us that, you know, we do have a human side to us. But most importantly, you know, we want to win this weekend for our players and for our fans and for everybody else, but so do the other teams. You know, everybody else is prepping really hard too. And I think it's just important to see the human side of people, especially coaches, because most of the time we're gauged on wins and losses, not smiles and wedgies. So
I think that's the perfect spot to end it. What do you think, Amanda?
I think so too. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I know this week is hectic. I love you guys. Go Gators. Can't wait to watch, and good luck this weekend.
Thanks, Amanda.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for having us.
What you're doing for the sport. It's awesome.
You said it before, Amanda. That was a treat. I think that was the right word to describe it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so thankful that they took so much of their time to come and hang out with us for an hour or so, to just talk about this season and how unique it's been, and excited for our listeners to just get a sense of why I love the Gators so much.
And I think, it's cool to have someone like Francesca Enea, who's the Hall of Famer now, going to be inducted. And I think with a future Hall of Famer in Amanda Lorenz at Florida Athletics. Sorry, had to do it. Had to.
Well, yes, it was so cool to hear, especially from Francesca Enea, and just the value that she obviously has, not only for like the program currently, but she was a part of the teams that kind of set that Gator standard and made so many of us want to go to Florida. So cool to hear from her. And just, I texted her after, I'm like, okay, I knew I loved you being there, but now I need to figure out how to get more eligibility so I can play for you, because she's just so great. And I'm just so happy that she is back at Florida and obviously loving it. And her family loves it. It's just really, really special.
Set the Gator standard, set the wedgie standard as well. Very important things.
So many traditions that Francesca Enea started.
She should get her flowers, and that's what we're doing. That's what we're here for, right?
I love it.
And now we will head into our plays of the week. Amanda, what do you got for us?
All right. Well, I will let my play of the week play here first.
2-5 was the final in that Oklahoma win. This is hit well to right field and deep. It is carrying back, and it is off the wall. Coleman being waved around. It's a run-scoring double for Jennings, and Oklahoma comes out firing here in the first.
So obviously, Tiare Jennings has had a slower couple of weeks, and for her to get that huge hit in a huge moment and just kind of let herself breathe a little bit, she knew she was right there and just on the verge. But I really think in order for Oklahoma to go and Oklahoma to win their 4th national championship, they need Tiare Jennings, right? And they have a star-studded lineup of so many elite hitters, but Tiare Jennings is probably the most talented hitter in the entire country. I don't care if you look at stats or anything. If the game is on the line, I want Tiare Jennings up to the plate. That's who I'm putting my money on. Okay. Every time. I don't care if she's 0 for 28, 0 for 23. I don't care what the stats are. She's the one that I'm placing. And I know that all of the Oklahoma fans and her teammates feel the same exact way. So that was huge, not only for them to set the tone and win that huge game, but also just for their postseason and what that will look like. Because in order for them to win, they need Tiare Jennings, and she knows it.
Yes. I love that you chose double too, because it's so easy for us to choose home runs, right? But sometimes the biggest moments are not necessarily the home runs. So I love that you did that. It reminded me actually of when she got the big hit against Nigel Kennedy in the World Series last year. She was the one, like you're saying. Yeah.
She is the one.
She's the one. She's the truth.
Yeah.
Well, that was awesome. And then I guess now it's my turn for play of the week. And it's on the defensive side this time. No surprise. We all know that that's usually how it rolls with Amanda and I. So let's take a look.
I mean, this is just complete swagger from Dakota Kennedy. The absolute cannon to Shep behind the plate. Big time, Arizona.
First of all, Danielle Laurie being on the call and her Canadian accent coming out with swagger was also a treat.
Agreed.
But it was swagger because the thing is, and I think as an outfielder too, Amanda, you get this, right? Lots of times they're maybe don't catch the ball in foul territory because they can tag up in these situations. And I saw this live at the Pac-12 tournament. And when she did it, there were so many things that she just did right at once. It was crazy. It was the throw in itself. It kept the game scoreless also. So just timing, but it was a cannon, perfect one hop. She created a throwing lane. She threw inside the runner from foul territory, got her feet set, all the right things she did. And also, by the way, side note, I think the softball gods just knew that we needed another Arizona UCLA matchup in the pack before we were done,
100%.
Yeah. And, Arizona did lead the pack in fielding percentage in the regular season, and they were the second best in program history. So I love that it's team wide for them. Infield, outfield, you name it. They brought it this year defensively.
Absolutely. Huge play. And like you said, did everything right. What a bullet.
Yeah. Good stuff. The defense wins championships comes to mind, right? That like old adage. Well, now it's time to head into our win and whiff of the week.
I have a very special win of the week this week, so we'll let it play now.
We only have 2 teams left, only 2 more getting into the field. And one of them is the Nittany Lions of Penn State out of the Big Ten with their outstanding right-hander, Bridget Namath. Caitlin Morrison, Maddie Gordon. Woo!
Just the best. Like, there were so many good videos on social after the selection show, just the celebrations from these teams, hearing their names and finding out where they're going. But correct me if I'm wrong, Jenna, Penn State, one of the last 4 in.
Correct.
So they knew that there was a chance they were not going to make the tournament. And just that makes the celebration that much better, that much more special. Just to know that you get to practice again. Like, yeah, we get more games, but like we just get more moments. And I think that's the thing, like gives me goosebumps even just talking about now, but just they get more moments together. It's not like, okay, we need to figure out our next step, pack up for the summer. It's okay, we need to practice today or we have practice tomorrow. It's just, oh gosh, I just love it. So special. And just think of those seniors and not knowing if they get to put on their cleats again. And they do. And so exciting. So congratulations, Penn State softball.
I got goosebumps just as you were talking about it. I also love that Beth Mowins, like after they announced it, she went on to say, like, go to the creamery, ladies, get some ice cream. And then their caption, if you look closely at the tweet that we just shared, it says like, can confirm we did go to the creamery.
I love it. I love it.
So good. So good. Well, on a harder note, we do have a whiff of the week, although this was tough this time around. But let's show what we're thinking about here first. So this is just one example. I think what's hard and what the whiff of the week is for us, we had a hard time figuring this out. It's the fact that the players can't control very much. That's what's tough. So what we showed there as an example, 643 charts, our friends had tweeted a thread sort of about what the quote unquote snubs could be throughout what the bracket was when it was revealed. Duke is just one example. The fact that they win their regular season and their tournament championship in the ACC, they can't control their schedule, right? Like they can't control certain things that the committee is looking at to make these decisions. So from their perspective, it's like they did outside of winning every single game, right? Which no one has done this year. And it's usually not the case. They've done everything that they can. And for it to come down to things that aren't controllable, it's not just them. There are some others too, right? That you could call out, but just an example of like, yeah, that's the part that's a little bit tough.
Yeah, just tough because you obviously them also winning the ACC championship, the tournament at home, like winning the regular season and the tournament, just felt like Duke was in control of that conference all year long. They were in the top 8 consistently in almost every rankings, right? So like it's just hard I can imagine that those athletes really felt deserving and almost thought it was a no-brainer that they were going to be a top 8 seed. So just a little bit disappointing and hard to kind of shift their mind of like, okay, well, it doesn't matter. It's the cards that we were dealt. So how do we figure out how to win our regional and then go on the road and prove everybody wrong again and win a super on the road. And then so we can have our goal of going to the Women's College World Series come true. But yeah, you just feel for them because it really feels like they did all that they could and they can't control what their opponents are ranked and what their schedule is. So it really sucks. I do understand that the committee they value certain things a lot and they've done it for many years. But you just feel for the athletes, right? Because it did feel like watching their reaction live, they were not happy. And the season that they've had, they deserve to be happy and that deserves to be celebrated. But I know that Coach Marissa Young will make sure that they are laser focused. And now they can't control it. It is what it is. And they're going to prove everybody wrong and win each game, beat each opponent that comes their way.
Yeah. And they did host supers. They did get a top 8 seed last year. And then they dropped that super regional and didn't end up going to the Women's College World Series. So maybe you could flip this around, right, from just a mentality standpoint and say, hey, maybe this is a little bit of an extra push that we can use to our advantage now in the postseason.
100%. And like, if any Duke athletes are listening, I lost at home before. It's terrible. And I've also been on staff when we won a super regional on the road. I was not a player, but that was my favorite super regional of all time. Like, winning on the road is so much fun. So seriously, like, you guys will be just fine. You guys take care of business. They match up with Missouri, correct? That will be such a fun super regional, given that the seeds hold. They're both so competitive, but like, Duke still has, like, they are able to do what they want to do if everything goes according to plan. But I'm really excited about their road, even if that means that they aren't going to play at home.
This is the pep talk that they needed, Amanda, from the great Amanda Lorenz.
God, well, it's hard. Like, postseason is so hard, and it really just, I know that the odds, whatever, you have a 75% chance if you're the home team of advancing. But gosh, it just feels like that number keeps dwindling each year. It just seems like more and more it doesn't matter.
It's very true. I lost at home and on the road in super regionals, right? Like, it can all happen. Yep. Yeah. Like, it can all happen.
Yep.
Man, well, plenty coming up. Obviously, I mean, mayhem is here. So what's next is regionals, as we know. I will be at the Stanford Regional, just doing coverage throughout the tournament for D1Softball. And Amanda, I know you're going to be watching as many pitches as possible.
Oh, exactly. I'm going to need to figure out how to move some TVs down in my living room so I can use like as many plugs that I have and just have multiple games on at each time, computers, all the things. Going to be locked in. I know that we are so lucky. ESPN has they take over during this time. So there's going to be so many games that I will have the honor of watching, and I can't wait to try and see as many pitches as I can.
That is the best part. You're 100% right. And for those of you who stuck around here till the end, here's a little treat for you, a little discount code. So like we said, Mayhem's here. Stay up to date on all the postseason action with D1Softball. This postseason, you can actually use the code Mayhem20 to save 20% on an annual subscription. So visit D1Softball.com/subscribe to register and access our premium content today. There's going to be lots of stuff. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us this week. We'll be here all through Mayhem and the road to the Women's College World Series.
Thanks for listening.